It's good enough. I'm quiet or the music is loud. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. But I owed you one of these. I owed you one of these. And I owe half man, half biscuit one of these. Thanks for following. It should have been the other one, but apparently it's not set up for the other one. So it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Let's resume some Minecraft. That's what we do. I feel like we need more tree right there. Because it's very thick over here. And there's nothing over here. We'll put some bamboo over there. I don't know. But yes, welcome to Minecraft time. This is the time for Minecraft. When we do Minecraft things. Finally got a pumpkin. Finally. Anyway. Trees. Let's plant some trees. We're still in creative mode. I still don't care. I'm not going to care either. Not for a while, anyway. We'll get away from it later, but for now, this is fine. Excuse me. It's in there. Yep, there it is. Okay. So many things to talk about. I don't remember what they were. That was not the right button either. Oh, yeah, I remember. Let me tell you what's pissed me off today. Because there's always something new. There's been, what's the thing? The Nintendo thing. Nintendo Direct. Okay. And everybody's all excited because Nintendo is doing things. And I'm excited that Nintendo's doing things. I like Nintendo. I like Nintendo very much. I've always liked Nintendo. Because Nintendo makes good games. And they have good consoles. They don't die. Like other consoles I've had. Haven't seen. I still have perfectly working NESs. I'm on like my third PS2. So that to me says something. I don't really care for Sony stuff anyway. But point being, there's a tree out here. It's probably not a good idea. Some tree out there. Point being that on the Twitter, because that's where most of my interaction with other human beings comes from, everybody's very excited. They're very excited. Oh my God, Chrono Cross is coming, and then there's gonna be this thing and this thing and that thing, and oh, it's great, it's wonderful, it's the most exciting news we've had in our lifetimes, in our modern times. We have never had news this good. Meanwhile, I think a new game would be neat. Something we haven't seen or played before. You know, just something different. And is that too close? Yeah. is it? So I am not excited. I'm not excited about Chrono Cross getting a re-release. I'm not excited about Legend of Mana getting a remake. Excuse me. I'm not excited about most of what I heard. And I tell you why. And this is going to be very old man yells at clouds kind of thing. I get that. It's part of my shtick. It's fine. But here's the thing. Chrono Cross. This is a very good game. It's an incredibly good game. I love that game to death. It has been easily playable for, I don't know, 20 years. I don't know when it came out. I think it was 99 maybe. 99 or 2000. But it's been about 20 years. Like, this is a game that has not been hidden. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't believe in emulation, that's fine. You can pick up a copy. They're out there. They exist. But, you know, stop giving us things that we already have. This is not the case for everybody, and I'm aware of this. But imagine you're watching a movie. Let's say it's, oh, I don't know, Star Wars. Let's say you're watching Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. Because that's a movie that you remember seeing when you were a young person. You liked it. And now let's say that this guy, we'll call him George. Let's say this guy George is like, hey, you know that Star Wars movie you really, really liked? Well, have I got some news for you. You're going to love this. I'm going to sell it to you again. But this time, there's going to be a computer-generated Jabba the Hutt in it. Saying Boba Fett because I'm angry about that too. And it's, you know, computer-generated Boba Fett. I said it again. Jabba the Hutt. And it's really going to change the whole movie. Like, you're not going to believe how much better this movie's going to be now that we've done that. How long is the scene? How long is he going to be in the movie? You know, 2 minutes. It's a quick scene, you know. We like pacing, so it's going to be real short. And that's a video game remake. That is an HD remake. We're going to put stuff in there that was not missing, that adds nothing, and we're going to make you buy it a second time to get it. And people will do it. And that I don't understand. That I don't understand. Because it was a joke for a long time. The Star Wars remakes. Like where they put in the, you know, Greedo shot first thing. And it was such a joke for such a long time. And they're doing it with video games and everybody's like, oh my god, I may have had a nocturnal emission over this. And it's stupid and I don't like it. Legend of Mana, that one doesn't make sense to me because Legend of Mana, I have it. I bought it when it was a new thing, and it's a fine game. It's not, I don't think it's ever really been considered very popular, but I think part of that is because, excuse me, we got the first game in the Mana series on the Game Boy, and it was called Final Fantasy Adventure. And then the second game was released as Secret of Mana. We got that one, and it was a big hit. But then we didn't get the third game, which was Heroes of Mana or something. We didn't get that one, so we got the fourth game, Legend of Mana. But, you know, it's not like everybody's like, man, what we need a Legend of Mana re-release, HD remake. I don't think people are clamoring for that stuff. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they are. And the argument used to be, well, you can't, there's no way to play these old games anymore. That's just not true anymore either, because there's things like the PlayStation Network that exists, and people can play games that way. Are they on the PSN? I don't know. I don't really care. But another aspect of this that just absolutely asinine is there is a there's a retro game account. I almost said channel. It's not account. There's a retro game account on Twitter, and they posted today, you cannot call yourself a retro gamer if you don't support remakes of retro games. Now, I had some issues with that. And the issue being, you're an idiot. And the reason I can say that this person is an idiot is I have games on my shelf that are older than the person who posted that. And so I feel like, I feel like I'm in the right when I say you're an idiot to that guy. 'Cause look, like, just because it's been remade doesn't mean it's good. Just because it looks pretty doesn't mean the game's any better. I mean, I've been watching our good friend Jade here streaming the Final Fantasy V Pixel remake. And it looks 95% the same. The music is slightly better. It's like they've got 32-bit music instead of 16-bit music, which they were doing that on the PlayStation 1. They upgraded the spell animations, which again, they did that on the PlayStation 1 when they re-released all the Final Fantasy games. But other than that, I mean, the gameplay is slow. The game seems to be super, super slow. Just watching it, it seems slow. And he even said in one of his streams that playing it, it played really slow. I don't care if it looks pretty, if I'm getting bored looking at it. You know what I mean? Like, even Playboy knew you had to put articles in. Right? So, it's stupid. I think it's dumb. Again, I am not the target audience for this. I get it. I get why people do it. I just don't understand the excitement about it, because most of the time, like, look, I looked this up. There are, and I'm picking on Square because Square is the #1. They are the most guilty of this. No other game company has been more guilty of this. Nintendo comes close with all the Super Mario stuff that they re-released and just put new on the title. But there are 15 Final Fantasy games. 15 numbered Final Fantasy games. And I'm not including, like, Dirge of Cerberus or 10-2 or anything like that. I'm just talking 1 through 15. There are 15 games. There are 89 total versions of those 15 games based on release date. That's not cross-platform. That's not Final Fantasy 1 is available on the NES and the Game Boy Advance. That is just, there are 15 different versions. No, excuse me. There are 11 different versions of Final Fantasy 1. And there does not to be 11 different versions of Final Fantasy 1. There's no reason for there to be 11 versions of Final Fantasy 1. There is no reason that there are 89 different versions of 15 games. No reason for it. And I believe the argument used to be, I got this argument because people told me this is the reason. Because Square does not have enough money to make a new game. So they have to remake old games to make money to make the new games. That's what we are told. Or that's what we used to be told. I don't think that's the case now. I don't think it was the case then. I really and truly don't. It's the same reason that we can't have new movies and new TV shows. Because, you know, what's the latest remake? What's the latest this? What's the latest that? What's the new thing we can base off a thing that happened 25 years ago? And I hate that. I hate that stuff. Give me something new. There are a lot of people who were not around for a lot of this stuff, and I get that. It's fine, man. But you know what exists? eBay. Well, we have to get a new version of Final Fantasy 1 because somebody can't play it on the original NES hardware. Really? You are that invested in playing the original Final Fantasy that you've not even ever considered, you know, I could just emulate that. The ROM is like 20 kilobytes. No one, that's never crossed your mind? I'm sure it has. I'm sure it has. Well, that's stealing. Well, where else are you going to buy the original NES version of Final Fantasy 1? You're not gonna, because Squaresoft's not making money on that. If I went to Moby Games, Lukey Games. That's where I used to order a bunch of my stuff. Lukey Games. If I went to Lukey Games and bought a copy of Final Fantasy 1 for the NES, Square's not making any money on that. They're not losing any money on it either. That is a sale they were not expecting to make anyway. So instead of having a team look at it and say, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to work on a brand new Final Fantasy game, and we're going to do it in the style of Final Fantasy 1, which they could do. They don't. Why they don't, I don't know if it's ineptitude. I don't know if it's... Well, I take that back. I know why they do it. Because there's risk involved, and for some reason, the companies that are best equipped to handle the risk are the least willing to do it. That's Square, that's Nintendo. I love me some Nintendo, and I used to really like Square, and then decisions were made. But you know, you could release an 8-bit style RPG. That is not one that you've already released 42 times before. The only reason you don't do that, I think, is because you're scared. We don't want our game to be a flop. Know what I mean? Well, if you're scared that your game's going to be a flop, don't make games. Saying? Maybe you're in the wrong line of work. And this happens with a lot of different things, I've noticed. Blackstone. So, even like fan games. Somebody made AM2R, which was another Metroid 2 remake. It's a PC game, and it's Metroid 2, the Game Boy Metroid. And I love me some Metroid 2. I think it's a great game. I don't think it gets near the recognition it deserves being a good game. So they made a fan version of Metroid 2. And then they crammed in so much stuff that was not in Metroid 2 that it didn't even feel like Metroid 2 anymore. And that bothers me. It's like, you didn't want to remake the game. You wanted to make a game, but you wanted people to play your game. So you borrowed someone else's IP to make your game. And I don't like that. I don't agree with that. Just make your own game, man. You're going to go through all this time and effort. Just do it. Like if someone says, I'm going to write a story about growing up, and it's going to be about 4 kind of weird adolescents who live in New England. And they have an adventure, and there's bullies. I think everybody's going, you're just ripping off Stephen King at that point. Just don't do that. Just write your own story, man. But for some reason, you can get away with it in video games. It bothers me. So back to our Chrono Cross story. People love Chrono Trigger, man. People have loved Chrono Trigger and all of that forever. They've been calling for new games forever. Like, Square has sent cease and desist letters to people making Chrono Trigger fan games that don't include any, like, original Squaresoft stuff. It's just got the name, right? And it takes place in the universe, and they get cease and desist letters for that. So what does Squaresoft do? Square Enix? Do they make a brand new Chrono game? No. They re-release Chrono Cross, which is probably already available in at least 3 different places. Let's make a new goddamn game, man. I say this and somebody on Twitter says, well, what if it's a game that never got an English release? That's different. That's not a remake. I don't consider that a remake. Like when they released, Final Fantasy V for the first time in North America on the PlayStation 1, it was not a, what am I thinking? Like, things were changed in it. Some things were changed, some things were added a little, whatever. But that was the first time it had been available to a North American audience. Right? So I don't think that's different. Or I think that's different. Like, why do I need 12 versions of Final Fantasy 1? I don't. And I just think you could have taken that time and made something different. So, so similar. I was hoping it was going to be a little more different. Another argument I used to hear was, well, some people are never going to get to experience it, you know. Like, somebody's never going to get to experience playing Mario 64 on a Nintendo 64 for the first time. Yeah, okay. I'm never going to get the experience of having polio for the first time. You know, I'm never going to get to see Christopher Reeve's Superman in the theater for the first time. Like, when it was a thing, you know, without having seen it first. That's just how the world works. I'm never gonna get to watch the moon landing on TV for the first time. Should we do that again every 30 years just so somebody can watch it for the first time? No, that's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. People are stupid, and I hate them. Makes me mad. Again, I don't think it's hard to find these things. They don't. I could be totally wrong. And it could be impossible to find a copy of Chrono Cross for the PlayStation 1. I don't think it is. Maybe we'll look. Maybe we'll look at break time. Now, I do know that some games are inordinately expensive. Like, I get that that's a thing. But this is also, you know... Just can't deal with it. Which ones? These? The gilded ones or the regular ones? Like, I heard somebody complain once that $40 was too much money for a brand new, like, AAA studio game. $40 is too much. No one should have to pay that much for a game. I said, I remember being a kid, and I'm going to go back to Old Man Yells at Clouds for a minute. And I remember buying Final Fantasy III at the time, because it was Final Fantasy III at the time, on the Super Nintendo. And I want to say it was like $69.99. I think I'm pretty sure I paid like $70 for that game. And that was a lot of money. Heck of a lot of money back then. Because I was in like junior high and it was an after school job that paid for that. This is going to take forever. You know, maybe I don't have a lot of sympathy for someone who's like, I paid $40 for this 7 gigabyte game. Tempted. Yes. I had absolutely no plan as to what we were going to do when I started streaming tonight. Then, kind of a long day at work, brain slightly fried from it. Listening to Randy Newman songs all day. And everybody being so excited about getting the chance to play a game that they could have been playing for 20 years already just annoys me. Because here's the other thing. One of the people that was complaining about this is showing off pictures of their fancy schmancy like aftermarket handheld Super Nintendo. So you could play it on pretty much near original hardware at that point. It upsets me. And not that, you know, these folks aren't out there with like retro con kind of things doing all that. It's not even a hardware thing. You're just like, I want it to look pretty. I don't like pixels. I'm a retro gamer. Everything has to be HD 4K. Shut up. Just shut up. Like you. I don't care about you. I hope you die. I probably partially mean it. I don't think I totally mean it, but it wouldn't surprise me if I did. It's actually not too bad. I kind of like that. I don't know that I like the gilded brick, though. I think it stands out too much. But I also don't want it to be like one solid color. Excuse me. Ooh, got another idea. This is gonna look like a Zelda dungeon when we're finished. It can be bright down here. We don't care about that. It's just gotta be dark up there. Zelda's another one. Zelda, we had Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. And then they re-released those in HD for the DS for some reason. Because that's where you want your nice new high definition, big, bold, glorious adventure exploration. Come see this neat world we created game on a handheld with a tiny little screen. I have never understood. Again, I've heard the arguments. I don't understand it. I think it's a stupid argument. But I have never understood why, again, you would put something that, you know, RPGs, like, they're the movies of video games, right? So let's put it on a little, you know, cell phone size screen with tinny, stupid little speakers. So you can play it on your bus ride to work and, you know, really immerse yourself in the story. Really get in there. That's the absolute last thing I want on a tiny screen. I want, you know, no, we don't need IMAX, right? No, we're just, everybody can watch movies on their laptops now. Totally the same thing. You're going to get the same experience. I think it's stupid. Old man yells at clouds, the stream. Going for half an hour, and I can keep going, damn it. Stand. There's some absolutely gorgeous video games out there. Absolutely gorgeous. So let's just cram it into an envelope. Like, this is an old one, but I'm old. And I don't know what's considered pretty anymore. But imagine, like, trying to play Shadow of the Colossus on a phone while in an Uber or something. I don't think you're gonna get the same experience. That's a game that's still relevant, right? Shadow of the Colossus. I think I've got it over on my shelf. I don't know. Kind of like that. But I'm gonna change one. Got it. It's not the right stuff. It's nether brick. You just get like black stone, slate, deep slate, cracked deep slate, gilded black stone, cracked black stone, polished black stone. Doesn't look like. Take that. I'm just being grumpy. So excited. Excited about things that have existed for decades. It's deep slate anyway. Totally the wrong thing. It was an argument I had against YouTube a long time ago. It's you know, before they got their own like encoding sorted out a little bit. This is old YouTube stuff. Probably talking 10-12 years ago. I'm not gonna go to a bunch of trouble to upload my videos in a really high, like overly high quality, because at the time the YouTube re-encode would drop it down so low that, you know, any extra effort I put into doing it was just negated by the platform, so I didn't do it. And now I underdo it instead of trying to match it, because Again, you don't need to see me playing Amagon in 4K. That's not anything anybody needs. You don't need pixels the size of a small dog. 30-something-year-old Nintendo games. No one needs me to have a clear face cam. The world is not clamoring for that. If they were, a generous benefactor would buy me a better camera. That ain't how it works. That ain't gonna be how it works. Because if somebody said, we want to send you a camera, man, I'm gonna say, save your money. I do not do any kind of content that needs anything like that. Please, there you go. It's not too bad. If I use this big brick stuff sparingly, I think it'll be okay. So, let's do... Oh, I'm even bothering to do the change. You can't see it from a distance on this stuff. It's made the whole thing out of wool. Lightning just immediately burned to the ground. Break that. It wouldn't be a pretty fire. Fire's boring. Been 2 hours yet? I want to go lay down. Being angry is tiresome. That's why I'm always so tired. Start the day full of vim and vigor and negative energy, and then this happens. All my aggression. I got a lot I can be angry about. God. That's really going to make the Tonys taste better. So we can do this too. Frozen food. Processed frozen food. It ain't gonna change it. Dining experience will not be enhanced. Just won't be. Calling it right now. Couldn't change a thing. Sauce is still gonna be boring. The cheese is still gonna be gross. Not gonna be enough toppings on it. The rest is gonna be mostly cardboard. Red Baron nut. Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm gonna do another row of bars we need quick. A row of this. Oh, then we'll do stairs. I don't even know if we can put a ladder on those. I don't care. We'll figure something out. If not, we will figure something out. Or on the inside, but that sounds like a terrible idea. We'd have to like build a cage around it. I didn't need to. If I could do that as fast as... Nice. It's a little better. Slightly more interesting. Aw, we dropped some frames, man. We hadn't done that in a while. Not very many. 0.4% of our total frames. Still, drop's a drop. It's dark and I can't see. Let's fix that. Crank it. That's barely any better. Kids probably. You should be fine. Internet shouldn't have that problem. Stairs again. No, it wasn't you guys. It was probably me. Had some updates that Windows wants to install, and I didn't do it. It's a little weird. Should be good enough to handle quite a bit. Not like business class, best internet in my part of the country internet, but good enough to stream 2 things at once. Careful up here. Don't want to break spawners. Yeah. Slight different change. Hit this here first. Three things. devoting your full and undivided attention to the stream. It's not nice. Change my mind about this too. Sure. Whatever. This is our weekly chill stream where I die horribly over and over to a simple boss, and then I threaten to rage quit the game. Or wage quit it. Guys, I really need your support. I'm an independent content creator. They don't have sponsorships or the other thing he says every time. Leave a like, leave a subscribe, leave a comment, leave me money. Tips help me right away. Can't let the trolls win. That sounded like baby zombies. I don't like baby zombies. Yeah, my cats are doing really bad. Speaking of the cats, gonna need somebody brave enough to help me get Death Ray's stitches out over the weekend. Or I take her in, like, Saturday morning. She's not gonna be, like, really upset about it, but she ain't gonna be happy with it. Because, number one, she does not like to be picked up. Number two, she does not like to be upside down. And number three, she ain't going to like anybody poking around where her incision was. So I've got about a hand and a half too few to do the job by myself. So if I could, you know, just drug her and knock her out, I'd do it. Well, the problem with trying to hold her in a towel is you gotta, to do the towel thing like the right way, you almost have to grab her where I need to not have stuff in my way. The clothespin thing doesn't work on her either. If that worked, it'd be fine. She's just not that kind of cat. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. A lot of crap that's down there. They die before they even hit the ground. Three witches at once. It is break time. Here's what's gonna happen. I will turn on some commercials. I really think Whack Mac should probably be paying me for all the free advertisement he's getting. And so should Crazy Bruce's Liquors. And the special man, he probably owes me at least a bedroom set by now. But I'm not going to stop working on this. I will just work on this in the back, the bathroom, the background. God, I need to sleep, I think. Because if not, you know, this is all we're going to be doing for the rest of the stream. It's not looking too bad, though. I'm more pleased with this than I thought I was going to be. I thought I was going to hate it. So, yeah, I'll be here. Oh, but, won't be here, you know.
See whack, if your credit is whack, whack. Call whack, if your credit is rough, rough. I got short money, but I need some wheels.
Call Mac, he got easy deals.